Hey guys, I am here with the lovely Kay. So Kay has just completed her 17-week fat loss phase. So absolutely destroyed it, as you can probably see from the results and the smile on her face. So it's really, really good to see. She's done so well all through the lockdown, kind of 90% of it anyway. So I'm going to pass you over to Kay, and we're going to chat about her transformation, her journey, kind of what things were like for her before, what they were like during, and what they're like now.
Yeah, so I think that my goal, as you said, I kind of started during lockdown because I was really conscious that gyms were closing and that source of exercise and things like that. I was really worried that kind of left to my own devices, I would just kind of balloon in weight and I'd kind of end up in a really kind of negative spiral. So that was kind of the thing that kickstarted me, that November lockdown, kind of giving me a little bit of an impetus to do something and get some control back. But I think kind of probably more broadly, even before lockdowns, I'd always been quite physically active. I've gone to the gym a lot, gone to lots of classes, but probably wasn't really doing the right kind of things. And had a little bit of frustration that even though I was working really hard, I'd probably go to the gym, go to classes maybe 5 times a week, but I still wasn't really getting kind of the body that I wanted. And I'd kind of got myself into the headspace and just thinking, well, this is just my body shape, and this is how it's going to be, and I'm just curvy, and that's kind of there are other people out there who have a slimmer body shape, and that's just how they are naturally. And I was a little bit frustrated that no matter how hard I was working, I still wasn't quite getting to the goals. So this was a good opportunity to kind of seize back control and get some structure around, get a real positive out of what could otherwise have been a pretty rubbish lockdown situation. Yeah, and I think definitely, like, with all the crazy stuff that's been happening this year, it's very easy to just kind of be a bit depressed and negative about it all. So, one of the really good things about doing this at the time that I did it was turning that potential negative into a positive and providing a structure and something that I can really feel proud of this kind of time when I look back. A lot, you can't outrun a bad diet, but I don't think I really kind of understood that that was true before, and was kind of thinking that I do lots of exercise so I can eat whatever I want, and I didn't really understand how the nutrition worked and kind of contributed towards that. So that was a big part of it. But I think the other part was the really detailed conversations that we had beforehand about what I was hoping to achieve, understanding better my lifestyle and body shape, and kind of trying to do things that fitted in with that so that you could understand my goals and then give me kind of really specific support, as opposed to just going to a 45-minute spin class. Well, that might be great for certain aspects, but it wasn't necessarily getting me to where I wanted to be with my specific goals, or kind of the specifically the state I was in at that particular point in time. So being really bespoke was helpful, but also that the nutrition side, which I didn't really fully understand before. I was eating probably too much, thinking I was eating quite healthily, but just the quantities and the type of food and the macros wasn't quite right, and therefore I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. Something else as well, just what I remember is having that kind of external accountability. Even though you're kind of not physically here with me, knowing that I've got someone to check in with, to be able to ask questions to if I wanted to, but also just kind of knowing this isn't just me keeping a track of it for myself. Maybe I should have a bit more internal motivation, but I've learned that that's just not me, and having someone else who I'm a little bit accountable to was really, really helpful as well. Well, obviously there's been a lot of kind of fat loss, which has been great, and that's allowed me to then kind of, I think, tone up my body a bit more. And I suppose those muscles potentially already always being under there but hidden underneath a bit of a layer of fat before. So I've lost quite a lot of weight and dropped probably 2 dress sizes, which are great, but also just kind of feeling a bit more proud of the strength that I've created as well, around my stomach and my thighs, that were areas that I'd always not really liked about myself. So being able to kind of really focus and see the results in those areas has been great.
And your overall fat loss has been 34 pounds over 17 weeks. So that's been, that's what, £2 a week actually on average. So that's been really, really good. Nice and steady and sustainable.
Yeah.
Um, Cool. So now we're at a point where, if you guys sort of watching this, we're at a point now we're actually into a maintenance and strength building phase with Kay. So, how let's chat about that. How is this experience now for you?
Yeah, do you know what? I think when I've done things before, maybe have kind of really focused on an area or been on a diet, and then what inevitably happens is kind of after you end the diet, it just kind of the weight goes back up and the gains get lost. But one of the really good things about this has been being guided through how to then start to increase the calories, so that I'm building strength and maintaining the goals that I've created for myself. Hopefully that makes sense. And I think that, actually having the guidance to come out of it, this was almost the bit I was most worried about, of kind of what would happen when I started to eat a little bit more, and would I be able to just kind of pile the weight back on. So having that support during this phase has been really, really good. And I think the other thing is just I'm enjoying starting to feel stronger, and kind of going beyond that fat loss phase, which I think I'd always kind of focused on a bit too much maybe before. And it's great to obviously have the fat loss so that I'm able to feel healthier, feel lighter, but it's that's now a bit of it's a platform from which I can now strengthen, tone, and feel really kind of positive in myself. I think what I would say is that you should definitely do it and follow everything that you're told to do, because the guidance that I was given has been really, really, really clear, really applicable, and easy to follow. And just if you're going to set yourself a goal, and seek out the support, it's really important to then follow it. And because if you do what you're asked to do, you will get the results. I think the other thing I would say, at the beginning, I was a little bit skeptical, thinking, this is quite, quite a lot of money to be investing in just myself, and is it necessarily worth it? Because as well as it being online, and is it really actually going to do anything? But what I'd say to that is, this is the only thing that I've done that has really worked. So is it worth the money? Yeah, it is, because it has created great result, and that has been because of the program that's been put in place.